India's Real Education Bill, the story of spending on every student. At around 11 o'clock at night, a father reads a school message on his phone screen. Next term fee due. Everyone in the house has fallen asleep, but inside his mind the calculator has woken up. His salary has not even arrived yet, and already a list of EMI, groceries, electricity, uniform, books and coaching is standing in front of him. He thinks, is the child studying or is the whole family taking an exam? The fear actually is not of the fee. The fear is that if he is unable to arrange the money today, then the child's confidence, school continuity and the dream of the future could be shaken in a single blow. And right here the biggest question arises. How much is India spending on every student? And where do we really stand compared to the world? We often say that education is a right, not a business. But when a payment reminder comes with the school diary at home, this right gradually starts turning into a monthly financial pressure. In the Constitution of India, education is on the concurrent list, meaning both the center and states bear its responsibility. But on the ground, a third player is bearing the biggest burden, the family. The big headlines of the government budget sound strong from a distance. Hearing lakhs of crores of rupees feels like there is a lot of money in the system. But as soon as that same budget gets divided among crores of students, the picture changes. MOSPI's Comprehensive Modular Survey, Education 2025, took data from 52,085 households and 57,742 students. This survey brought out that expenditure on education, which often remains hidden inside the walls of the house. According to the report, around 56% of students in the country study in government schools. This number tells us that government schools even today are India's education backbone. But the story does not remain simple right here. In rural India, the share of government schools is 66%, whereas in urban areas it falls up to just 30%. Meaning, as soon as one comes to the city, the trust or compulsion of families both start turning towards private schools. Many parents say government school is cheap, but is learning also as strong? Now look at the expenditure. The average annual household expenditure on a student studying in a government school is just 2,863 rupees. The same reaches up to 25,000 rupees in non-government schools. This difference is not small. This is a jump of roughly 8 to 9 times, and this very jump decides that for many children school choice becomes an income test before education. But the fee is not the only story. Books, stationery, uniform, transport, exam charge, activity charge, smart class charge all keep cutting the home budget through small paths. MOSPI data tells us that the biggest portion in average student expenditure is of course fees, around 7,111 rupees annually. After this, roughly 2,000 rupees is spent on textbooks and stationery. In cities, this pressure is even sharper. Urban households spend on average 15,143 rupees on course fees alone, whereas in rural areas this same average is around 3,979 rupees. Here an uncomfortable truth comes forward. Expenditure on education is not decided by school type alone, it is decided by location as well. Your PIN code too changes the price of the child's education. Perhaps the most emotional number of the report is that household members are the primary funding source for 95% of students' education. Government scholarship becomes the first major support for just 1.2% of students. This means that the real financer of the education system in India is often those parents who pay the child's fee by postponing their own needs. A father postpones changing his phone. A mother reduces festival shopping. Grandparents provide books from their pension. This very private sacrifice is the invisible part of national education finance. Then outside the school, another school stands up, coaching. According to the survey, 27% of students in India take regular private coaching. This number does not show just the growth of the coaching industry. It shows the fear in parents' minds that school alone is perhaps not enough for competition. As the class increases, the coaching bill keeps growing too. At the higher secondary level, national average coaching expense has been stated as 6,384 rupees annually. In urban areas, the average expense of higher secondary coaching reaches around 9,950 rupees, whereas in rural areas it is around 4,548 rupees. Competition is the same, but the price of preparation is different. Coaching gradually has become not an optional support of education but a silent tax. If the child does not go to coaching, many parents feel that he will be left behind in the race. And the surprise is that the start of the expenditure is happening not from college now but from nursery. On pre-primary education as well, households are spending thousands of rupees on average. There was a time when small children used to start learning around the neighborhood, Anganwadi or home. Now play school admission has also become a subject of financial planning for many families. Meaning, before learning ABCD, the child enters the world of family affordability. Parents look at the preschool, but in mind the annual fee revolves first. Now look at the government side. According to PRS Legislative Research's Budget 2026 analysis, 139,289 rupees crore has been allocated to the Ministry of Education. In this, there is 83,562 crore rupees for school education and 55,727 crore rupees for higher education. Meaning, in the budget the school system gets a big portion because the population is also highest right there. Schemes like Samagra Shiksha, PM Poshan and PM Shri pull a big portion of this very budget. Someone strengthens classrooms, someone gives meals, someone tries to build model schools. The allocation in budget 2026 is 14% higher than the revised estimates of 2025. Hearing this sounds like good news, and in nominal terms this is growth too. But the real question of education is not merely whether the budget increased or not. The question is whether the budget is growing at the speed of children's needs. NEP 2020 had set a target to take education spending up to 6% of GDP. PRS analysis tells us that the combined education spending of center and states is around 4% of GDP roughly. Right here the gap is formed. Policy says 6%, reality says 4%, and the classroom asks, when will the teacher, lab, library and learning support come to me? When a country is big, the total spending looks big. But when the number of students is also very big, the per student spending becomes thin. This is the reason why India's education story is seen in two frames. In GDP share we do not look very low, but in per student investment we appear quite behind the world. According to OECD's Education at a Glance 2025, OECD countries from primary to post-secondary non-tertiary level spend an average of $12,438 per student from government sources. In India, even in PPP terms, public investment per student is considered several times less than this level. This very comparison tells us how big the gap of resources is for our children in the global race. But this is not just India's weakness, it is India's scale challenge too. Educating such a big student base is one of the toughest public tasks in the world. In a small country, the impact of the budget can be seen quickly. In India, that same money spreads across mountains, deserts, metros, villages, tribal areas and dense cities. Between states too, the picture is not uniform. Regions like Delhi show higher per-student government spending, whereas big states like Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand remain under pressure due to student load. In hill states like Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand, geography increases the expenditure. Small school, distant village, fewer students, still a teacher and building are needed. Therefore, the education budget is not just a number from the finance ministry, it is a complicated mix of geography, population, politics, teacher deployment and local governance. Now step inside the classroom. Reports based on UDISE plus 2025 data state that in India, there are still more than 1 lakh single-teacher schools, where lakhs of children study. Imagine one teacher. That same person is teaching alphabets to class 1, explaining fractions to class 5, overseeing midday meal, filling attendance and uploading data on the government portal too. In such a school, the meaning of per-student expenditure changes. Money can be in the system, but how much reached up to the child in the form of attention, that is a different question. That's why understanding education spending in rupees alone is incomplete. The real measure is how much difference that rupee created in learning. Private school is not an automatic solution either. There the fee is higher, uniform is shiny, app notifications come, but quality is not guaranteed everywhere. Many parents choose a private school because they have a fear of English medium. They feel that if the child lags behind in English, he will lag behind in the job market. This fear is so strong that the family sometimes chooses a school beyond its income. Later that choice turns into loans, dues and stress. The problem of a rural family is different. A government school might be nearby, but teacher shortage, transport, subject availability, or lack of digital access makes parents restless. The problem of an urban family is not easy either. School fee is high, coaching is separate, transport is separate, and peer pressure works silently and separately. The middle class gets squeezed the most in this system. It is not considered poor enough for scholarships and not rich enough to afford premium education. Education for them is an investment as well as a fear. They think, if money is not spent today, tomorrow will turn out expensive for the child. Right here, the market has understood a new emotional business model. Parents can bargain for themselves but feel guilt while bargaining on the child's education. This guilt has given growth to coaching, test prep, early learning apps, Olympiad forms and extra classes. Every product sells a promise: your child will not be left behind. But does every extra rupee convert into learning? This is that very question which many people are afraid to ask. If the classroom is weak, coaching becomes strong. If the government school loses trust, private school becomes aspirational. And if private school becomes expensive, the home budget quietly goes into sacrifice mode. From the outside, everything looks normal. Inside, financial anxiety keeps running. Government schemes can reduce this anxiety if their impact is visible. PM Poshan is not just a meal, it is a bridge of attendance and nutrition too. Samagra Shiksha is not just an infrastructure scheme, it is a tool of equity. PMSHRI is not just a model school project, it is an attempt to rebuild the public school image. But not the name of schemes, delivery matters. The parent sees a difference when the teacher is present, classroom is functional, toilet is usable, and the child really learns and comes home. Talk of digital education and AI is also increasing. In budget analysis, AI centers and research initiatives show up, but on the ground many schools are still struggling with basic devices and internet. This very contradiction makes India's education story dramatic. On one side there is the dream of an AI classroom, on the other side the reality of a single teacher school. World comparison is not to make us ashamed. It is a mirror through which it shows that if we want to become global talent, then local classrooms too will have to be given global seriousness. India's children are not less capable. Many times they give amazing outcomes, even with fewer resources. But this heroism cannot make the system's weakness a permanent excuse. The real turning point will come when we ask, more than how much is being spent, on what it is being spent and up to which child it is reaching. Per student spending does not mean just an account book. It decides whether the child will get a trained teacher or a substitute, a lab or a locked room, a library or just a syllabus. Family expenditure also does not mean just a fee receipt. It is the price of that confidence, which parents want to give to the child, no matter how much worry they have to hide themselves. If public schools become strong, the compulsion of families will decrease. Private choice will then become an aspiration, not a compulsion. If scholarships are targeted and timely, a child of a weak family will not think of leaving school out of fear of a fee due message. If the need for coaching is reduced, the child will be able to spend evening time not just in a test race, but in games, curiosity and real learning too. And if states understand their spending gaps and fix teacher deployment, that same rupee can create more impact in the classroom.
If this video has taught you something new, or if you feel this information should reach more people, don't forget to like and share the video. Your small share can become valuable and useful information for someone else. If you have any questions related to this topic, or if you would like to share your opinion with us, be sure to write in the comment box. We read every question and suggestion from you, because your feedback inspires us to create better content. And if you want to keep receiving such interesting and reliable information about business, the economy, and the world in the future, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel GRT Business and also press the bell icon so that you get notifications of every new video directly. At GRT Business, we always strive to provide you with accurate, balanced, and reliable information. Our news and analysis are prepared based on information obtained from various news agencies, public sources, and public opinion. We make every effort to verify and validate each fact as much as possible, but in case of any possible error or dispute, the responsibility lies with the respective sources. Our only aim is to present you with a correct and trustworthy perspective so that you can understand any topic better.